Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai. Please all chant. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvichesha Shunyavadi Askadyane Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I would like to welcome all of you to these sets of lectures called The Hidden Secrets of Bhakti, and particularly today, where we will start with our first part. I'm very happy to be able to give this seminar here in Zagreb to all of you. It's the first time where I talk about this, and I'm very, at the outside, very excited and very motivated to give my best. I request you to be a little attentive while you hear this, because I have tried to prepare something which is important. Today will be an easy entrance into the subject matter, but we will go to more difficult subjects starting from tomorrow. I must say, I have a personal relationship to this subject, because since my coming in contact with Srila Prabhupada, I have been wondering about one thing in his teachings, and something which intrigued me, something where at times had a little doubt, not in him, but whether it would be possible to really live up to what he said. More doubt in the process maybe, and in myself. And I hope to resolve this, because I feel in a way that my own difficulty with coming to grips with this question is maybe also some of your difficulties. What am I talking about? When you study Srila Prabhupada's lectures, it seems to be very easy to develop Krishna consciousness. I mean, sometimes people would say, what is the difficulty to remember Krishna always? Are you drinking water? Everyone went, yes, we are drinking water. Then when you drink water, you should think that the taste in that water is Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. Wow, I thought I can do that. That's not so difficult. And he would talk at many times like this. That it would appear when you would listen to him that Krishna consciousness is the most natural thing, more natural than your own breathing, and it's very easy to attain. And I do remember Prabhupada was convinced of this. One time, sometimes he would say, "All my disciples are pure devotees," indicating that we had all already reached the level of Krishna consciousness. And I would go, what, is it really so easy? And I mean, is everyone a pure devotee? Am I a pure devotee? No. But maybe my brother is, or maybe the temple president is. And I would ask, I remember the temple president, we always had heart-to-heart discussion. Are you a pure devotee? Do you feel, what, me? No. But Prabhupada says all his disciples are pure devotee, and he seems to say that Krishna consciousness is so very, very easy. But is it easy for you? And we would say, well, Prabhu, I'm not very pure, And as we were discussing, late in the night, we found out that there are obstacles on our path, and it's not so easy. So I developed this question, is bhakti at all possible? And then something started. I was asked by Srila Prabhupada to accept disciples, and then the leadership of our movement, the GBC, requested me very strongly, there was no point of saying no, to become a spiritual master. And after some time I thought, well, maybe it's easy for my disciples to become pure devotees. Let me try. And I remember the first lectures which I gave to you, I thought, well, I spoke, it's very easy, what's the problem? And then I noticed there were a lot of problems. At least you wrote me in your letters, oh, it's so difficult, and I don't know if it works with me, and and show me some good example. You seem to be always happy, but and so on. I began to face a lot of doubts eventually by those who had taken to the process of Krishna consciousness. They doubted in the process, and they also doubted in themselves. And And some of my disciples would come to me and say, Guru Maharaj, this doesn't work. People give their promises at the initiation fire, but and I know that they won't keep it after 10 years. And I would be overwhelmed with an avalanche of doubt. And in my right ear, when I put on the lecture of Prabhupada, Krishna consciousness is so easy, even a child can take to it, even a dog, can dance in pure bhakti. And I would go, wow, maybe. Then I would try to see it like Prabhupada, and then again I would go and do japa retreats all over the world. And what I found out, and that was almost a revelation. I thought the devotees who would come to the japa retreats wanted to learn how to chant 64 rounds without every day. I thought that was their goal. But do you know what I found out? They wanted to find a way how they could complete their 16 rounds, because many of them were not chanting their 16 rounds each day. So there was a difficulty. It was not very easy for them. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai. Please all chant. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvichesha Shunyavadi Askadyane Satarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I would like to welcome all of you to these sets of lectures called The Hidden Secrets of Bhakti, and particularly today, where we will start with our first part. I'm very happy to be able to give this seminar here in Zagreb to all of you. It's the first time where I talk about this, and I'm very, at the outside, very excited and very motivated to give my best. I request you to be a little attentive while you hear this, because I have tried to prepare something which is important. Today will be an easy entrance into the subject matter, but we will go to more difficult subjects starting from tomorrow. I must say, I have a personal relationship to this subject, because since my coming in contact with Srila Prabhupada, I have been wondering about one thing in his teachings, and something which intrigued me, something where at times had a little doubt, not in him, but whether it would be possible to really live up to what he said. More doubt in the process maybe, and in myself. And I hope to resolve this, because I feel in a way that my own difficulty with coming to grips with this question is maybe also some of your difficulties. What am I talking about? When you study Srila Prabhupada's lectures, it seems to be very easy to develop Krishna consciousness. I mean, sometimes people would say, what is the difficulty to remember Krishna always? Are you drinking water? Everyone went, yes, we are drinking water. Then when you drink water, you should think that the taste in that water is Krishna. This is Krishna consciousness. Wow, I thought I can do that. That's not so difficult. And he would talk at many times like this. That it would appear when you would listen to him that Krishna consciousness is the most natural thing, more natural than your own breathing, and it's very easy to attain. And I do remember Prabhupada was convinced of this. One time, sometimes he would say, "All my disciples are pure devotees," indicating that we had all already reached the level of Krishna consciousness. And I would go, what, is it really so easy? And I mean, is everyone a pure devotee? Am I a pure devotee? No. But maybe my brother is, or maybe the temple president is. And I would ask, I remember the temple president, we always had heart-to-heart discussion. Are you a pure devotee? Do you feel, what, me? No. But Prabhupada says all his disciples are pure devotee, and he seems to say that Krishna consciousness is so very, very easy. But is it easy for you? And we would say, well, Prabhu, I'm not very pure, And as we were discussing, late in the night, we found out that there are obstacles on our path, and it's not so easy. So I developed this question, is bhakti at all possible? And then something started. I was asked by Srila Prabhupada to accept disciples, and then the leadership of our movement, the GBC, requested me very strongly, there was no point of saying no, to become a spiritual master. And after some time I thought, well, maybe it's easy for my disciples to become pure devotees. Let me try. And I remember the first lectures which I gave to you, I thought, well, I spoke, it's very easy, what's the problem? And then I noticed there were a lot of problems. At least you wrote me in your letters, oh, it's so difficult, and I don't know if it works with me, and and show me some good example. You seem to be always happy, but and so on. I began to face a lot of doubts eventually by those who had taken to the process of Krishna consciousness. They doubted in the process, and they also doubted in themselves. And And some of my disciples would come to me and say, Guru Maharaj, this doesn't work. People give their promises at the initiation fire, but and I know that they won't keep it after 10 years. And I would be overwhelmed with an avalanche of doubt. And in my right ear, when I put on the lecture of Prabhupada, Krishna consciousness so easy, even a child can take to it, even a dog, can dance in pure bhakti. And I would go, wow, maybe. Then I would try to see it like Prabhupada, and then again I would go and do japa retreats all over the world. And what I found out, and that was almost a revelation. I thought the devotees who would come to the japa retreats wanted to learn how to chant 64 rounds without every day. I thought that was their goal. But do you know what I found out? They wanted to find a way how they could complete their 16 rounds, because many of them were not chanting their 16 rounds each day. So there was a difficulty. It was not very easy for them. They came to learn how it could work for them. So as I was growing old, I'm only 60 years young, not old. But as I was spending more and more time in our movement, in my left ear I heard my spiritual master saying it's very easy, and in my right ear I heard his disciples and the congregation saying it's very difficult. And it's difficult when you get two types of informations in the ear. You need to find out, is it possible? Is it easy? And in this class, or in this series of classes, I was actually forced to find out what is the secret of Krishna consciousness and how will it work for a devotee. And then I had a contact with one devotee. His name is Adipurusha Prabhu. He is one of the teachers of the Vrindavan Institute for Education. And I remember we used to discuss about this. And he, a few years ago, came up with a model which he called the 3 hearts of Bhakti, which was a formula which made it, in fact, very easy for everyone to practice Krishna consciousness. But I maintained my, my philosophical reservation. You can say many things, and I know you're a teacher, but I need to be convinced of this. And then I began to do two things. I again studied the nectar of devotion very deeply, and I also applied in my life a simple formula which tells you 3 things you should do, and two understandings which you need to have in your mind, and then it worked. And I did it, and my whole life did change. I'm actually now very happy in my Krishna consciousness. Since I have discovered this, I was always. I'm a person who cannot tolerate low emotional energies in his own life. That. Or negativity. I'm just not. I don't feel comfortable in being mental, and therefore I always thought of ways to live on high energy. But since I'm applying this, I feel it's no longer necessary to develop, to have high energy techniques, or how how to raise yourself to a high state. No, I feel it's very, very, very possible to be in Krishna consciousness no matter what. And therefore, I would like to share this to you during this festival which we have put up. There will be a session this evening. There will be a relatively short session, and then there will be tomorrow a session, and hopefully 2 other sessions. Now, before I start, I need to ask you, do you have enough oxygen? Not really. So, Nalini Gopi, you will be our oxygen lady. I will speak in German. Du musst einfach von Zeit zu Zeit das unbequem weit öffnen, das Fenster, nicht? Und dann werden Leute protestieren und sagen, mein Nacken, dann musst du ihnen einen Sitzplatz in der Wärme zeigen, nicht? Hare Krishna. So, who is our oxygen man there, or woman there? Is someone opened the window? I'm who? Yeah, Jagannath Mishra. Where are you, Jagannath Mishra? Can you be in charge of the oxygen? I mean, that is Krishna actually. But from time to time, you will have to open the window, and naturally, devotees who stand next to the window will protest severely, forgetting that there are other people in the room except for them, and then you can show them a nice place where it's warm, and so on. And you must be very emphatic with the devotees who don't want it to recall, but the rest of us need, because I can see already some of my listeners coming into the low energy mood because of the lack of oxygen. If I would do a seminar, I would now make exercises with you, but I don't do this because then I will be criticized. It's not necessary in the temple. Krishna. But I have an idea how I will wake you up. Fast. Let me ask you a question. Who of you is practicing Krishna consciousness for more than 10 years? Raise your hands. Who is practicing Krishna consciousness for more than 5 years? That should be more, by the way. Also those Prabhuditse, wake up. Now, on my next question, I expect more hands to rise, in case you are not yet tuned in. Who is practicing Krishna consciousness for more than 2 years? No, that should be everyone, sleeping. Not. Who is practicing Krishna consciousness for more than 1 year? You will see it is an important question. Who's practicing Krishna consciousness for more than half a year? Oh, it's less again. It must be more by mathematical reasons. Oh, Bhaktas. Prabhupada said when we practice Krishna consciousness, we will experience ecstasy. We will experience steadiness. We will experience love of Godhead. Are you experiencing these things? Who is experiencing this? Only the new people raise their hands at this moment. I have done this experiment with many devotees. When I asked the older devotees who are longer than 10 years in the movement, are you experiencing love and ecstasy, they will go. And the new people, they will say, yes. No, and they are serious. And when you read their faces, they are very happy and inspired and enthusiastic. Why? I will give an answer to this question a little later. My dear devotees, but all of you who are not so new, who are a little older, I request you today to ask yourself an uncomfortable question. Our founder Acharya says this process is very easy. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, says, Susukam kartum avyayam. This means it is performed with great happiness, this process. So we have authoritative statements from our founder Acharya and most important Guru and the Supreme Personality of Godhead indicating that this is an easy process. Why do only the greenhorns, means the people who are very young in the movement, feel it is like this? Why are you not feeling like this? When there is a journey, when you do a journey, and it is said on the journey you will reach, let us say it's a journey with a car or journey with a train, that's easier. You will reach Stuttgart, you will reach Munich, then you will reach Stuttgart, and then you will come to Karlsruhe, to Heidelberg, Frankfurt and Hamburg. So when you find this in your ticket, you will pass over these stations and you go and you go on a train, and the next and after some time you look and, well, there's a Sarajevo, then Beograd, Niš, Skopje, Athens. Then you say, I'm not coming to Stuttgart, and I'm not going to Munich, not to Pforzheim and Heidelberg and Hamburg. I must be in the wrong train. So when the founder Acharya and Krishna gives you a route for your spiritual life, from Shraddha, you go to Bhajana Kriya, then you come to Nishtha, then you come to what is a Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava and Prema. And these signs don't show up in your life. You must be on the wrong route. Or you were cheated when you got your tickets. So when we practice Krishna consciousness, we should all experience the different levels which are explained in the scriptures, which are explained by the acharyas. If we don't experience them, there must be something wrong, something which is not right, either in the statements of the acharya or God, or in our own application. Now usually when we talk about these subject matters and come to classes, we will hear by the lecturers that the reason why we are not yet experiencing the promises of Krishna consciousness is because our hearts are impure still, and this is so because we have committed aparadhas somewhere on the way, which has covered the result from coming. But in this class, I will take another, in the seminar, I believe there is value to this explanation, but I don't think it is the whole truth. because I know from the lives of the devotees whom I know, and I guide them. I know also from many serious devotees with whom I talk that they are very serious. They are not egoistic people who want to harm others or want to harm Krishna and commit offenses. This is not their intention. But what I see is that maybe they have not totally understood the secrets of Bhakti, as Bhakti being the way and Bhakti being the goal. And in the seminar, I would love to talk about these secrets on the basis of our scriptures, and explain that when we talk about Krishna consciousness, there are actually two things we talk about, not one thing. We talk about something which is the right process, that is how to execute Bhakti and the processes of Bhakti, and then we talk about the goal, that is ecstatic love of Godhead. Bhakti as being a bhavana. A bhavana can mean a state of being, or it can be like bhakti bhava, a certain mode of ecstatic love of Godhead. Bhava is a state. In our we have one acharya who spoke about the secrets of Bhakti. His name is Rupa Goswami. He is actually very able to talk about Bhakti because he is in the spiritual world Rupa Manjari, an eternal associate of Radha and Krishna. And here in the world, he is an ascetic monk who has written on the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the guidelines of Bhakti in his Bhakti Shastras. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Rupa Goswami the precise order to compile a guidebook in Bhakti and empower all the devotees who would come after Gauranga Mahaprabhu to practice Bhakti. Rupa Goswami was incredible as a devotee. He was on the highest states of Krishna consciousness. But he and his brother, they were just so kind-hearted that they would be known as the fathers of Vrindavan. Sanatan Goswami, the brother of Rupa Goswami, would be asked by all the villagers to guide them in practical affairs. For instance, when they would quarrel, let us say, I know of one thing, there was a mango tree which grew on the property of one farmer, and it had mangoes which were, the branch was going like this to the property of the other farmer, and then the mango fell down, and the question was, whose mango is it? Is it the mango of the landowner, or is it the mango of the tree owner? And there were the Goswamis would solve these delicate questions, and they were accepted as the ultimate authority. They had, in other words, a grasp of the human reality. They were both the most exalted devotees, but also they knew how to deal with people on a very human level and in a very human way. My own spiritual master would like Rupa Goswami very much. He said once that he was not sure if he could spread Krishna consciousness in the Western world, because Westerners are just different from people who were born in a culture which had Vedic influences in India. Huh? So once when Prabhupada was residing in Radha Damodar temple, he actually saw Rupa Goswami coming from his bhajan kutir, dressed just in a little loincloth and just coming out and said, "Oh, Swamiji, you should go in the West, and you should know I will come with you, and I will help you." And after Prabhupada had this experience of Rupa Goswami coming to him and assuring him of help in his spiritual, in his endeavor to spread Krishna consciousness, he felt encouraged to go to the West. Now, what I want to say with this example is that Rupa Goswami's teachings are not only for those who were 500 years, who lived 500 years ago. No, Rupa Goswami gave teachings and helped Prabhupada so that we in the West would also profit. And he is a universalist, in other words. So he gave a definition of bhakti, and I would like to tell you this definition, but I see many of you are tired and are really feeling as if they are tortured, at least you look like that. And I don't know what to do with you. I would also try to be a human. Should I tell jokes maybe for some time, or is it all right? Or I want to preach in New York, where people can understand English and listen. But when I'm in New York, I want to go to the Balkans. And, you need to listen a little bit more intensely. It's not a torture. It will be good for you to understand this. Try and make an effort. His definition is here. Anya bilashita shunyam jnana kama janavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhakti uttama. I will read to you the translation and then more freer translation. This is from Srila Prabhupada. When first-class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monastic philosophy and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. So, let us make it a little bit more simple, or a little bit more easy to work with. In other words, what Rupa Goswami calls Bhakti Uttama, or first-class devotional service, or in other words, pure devotional service, is an activity which is intended to please Krishna without any ulterior motive. And this activity is not covered by philosophical or karmic interests it pursues. To make it more simple, I want to give you an example. Yesterday I was a guest of a devotee, and this devotee tried to cook, has cooked for me. The devotee likes very much lasagna, but had heard that I take an Ayurvedic diet only, and lasagna is a no-no on the Ayurvedic. I will talk very simple, as you see. But this devotee thought, let me cook what pleases my guest. This was an activity with the intent to please the guest. The devotee liked lasagna and pizza and all the things which make you a little weighty. But the devotee thought, no, this meal is not for me. It is for my guest. My guest doesn't like lasagna and pizza, but dal and all the good things of life, dal, vegetable, these natural preparations, and was sacrificing his interest in to please the person. So this is the devotee was not speculating, oh, maybe he should eat lasagna or pizza and all these things which make him fat and unhealthy. He was really concentrating. No, this is what pleases my guest, and he had no ulterior motive. Sometimes cooks cook what they like, and they're very happy when the guest doesn't eat it, because then they can eat it. This would be an ulterior motive in the cooking, I'm trying to give a modern example for modern people who can understand things in a modern way. So let us now again go back to philosophy. Enough of fleshy examples we want to see. Uttama Bhakti is described as an activity where the intention is to please Krishna, and you are not speculating and you don't have an ulterior motive in this. This verse of Rupa Goswami applies to two types of devotees. Devotees who are practicing bhakti as a path, as a process, who are on the way, and it applies also to devotees who have attained bhakti as a goal. They have reached the perfection. That is, even a beginner can start to practice devotional service, pure devotional service, by concentrating on, I do this activity for Krishna, I engage my body, my mind and my words in this activity, and I do it with with favorable intention to give Krishna pleasure. When a devotee can do this, he's practicing Bhakti Uttama. Now, the Uttama Adhikari, that means a devotee with the highest qualification, he will practice this all the time without interruption. He will not fail. Everything which he does is practicing this this type of cooking or this type of process every day. He doesn't have to make an effort. He's always living in the question, what serves Krishna? It would be like as if this devotee thinks, oh, I want that my guest is so happy with me. I want that he stays in my house, and I want to cook every day for him like this, without a motive to eat what I like to eat. I will just only sacrifice my life for him. There's a very high state, which in our example would characterize the person who has attained bhakti as a goal. But this devotee who received a guest, I'm just giving it as an example, has for one day been able to stay in that consciousness, or it was maybe 2 hours, I don't know how long it takes to cook a meal, maybe 3 hours, and therefore it was a very high performance. Bhaktivinoda Thakur and also Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur have said the Krishna consciousness is different from all religions in that the way to reach the goal and the goal are identical. They are pure. They are untouched by material energy. The way is something which an imperfect person does. He's still on the way, and if he keeps this path, stays on this path, he will be on the path of purity. And the goal is someone like Prabhupada has attained. And in order to explain this very difficult concept, the Acharyas have given us an example, and I believe if you listen to the example, you will easily understand what is in their mind. They gave the example of a beggar who had never seen gold and who came to the king and said, "King Ji, can you show me gold?" The king said, after thinking a little while, if the beggar was trustworthy, yes, you take this stepnitsa or staircase, trapper, I think it's trapper, the stepenitsa, yes, stepenitsa. You take the staircase, and then when you go, you reach another floor, another level, and there you open the first door, and there's my royal treasury, and you will see everything there is gold: the vases, the coins, the boxes, and so on. So the beggar did as he was told. He walked up the steps of the staircase, and as he was walking, from time to time he wondered, this is special, this is very amazing. Oh, cha. But he didn't pay much attention to the staircase. After all, he wanted to see the treasury. So he reached another level, the first story. He opened the first door, and when he opened it, he saw everything was made out of gold. But as he saw the royal treasury, he looked, some idea came in his mind, and he looked back to the staircase, and lo and behold, he saw the staircase is also made of gold. This is an example which shows us, when we go the process of Krishna consciousness and we do it properly, I want to say to you properly, because I feel you're not doing it properly. If you remain on the golden staircase, not somewhere else, not in another road, and you come to another level, and you see the gold, and then you look back and you say, my God, I didn't recognize where I walked. Sometimes someone who walks a golden staircase will go, aha, woo! And this happens sometimes to a new devotee. I was talking to one devotee today, and the devotee, I asked him, how are you? And he says, I'm very blissful, Maharaj. What? Yes, I'm very blissful because I've given my life in Krishna's hands. I'm no longer making plans. I'm just accepting everything as Krishna's mercy, and a new dimension has opened. I really like this process of Krishna consciousness. I thought, oh my God, he is a brother. Let's sit down and talk about our experiences. And he told me that for a long time he had been practicing Krishna consciousness really not for Krishna, but he wanted to get something out of it, some happiness of his mind, some solution of his life's problems, and he noticed he was not feeling the bliss of Krishna consciousness. But when he let loose of this expectation and finally just did service to please Krishna the way Krishna wants it, he felt blissful, and now he is a bliss candidate. And this devotee is not a naive devotee. He's a devotee who's trained in psychology. He makes good money. He's well situated in life, has fulfilling partnerships. But he found the little key to do something for Krishna. Bhakti is for Krishna. It is an active engagement, including body, mind, and words. And it is done with the intention to please oneself. Is this correct? Oh, good. 10 people said, no, it's not correct. What do you say? It's done, let me say it again. It's done with the intention to please Krishna. Why did you say Haribol? Are you doing this? This is very serious. That devotee had practiced Krishna consciousness for 30 years, and he only now he had made the correction in his life and saw the results were coming. The key is not to just act. No, you must do it with the intent to please Krishna, or in a favorable. You must have this loving intention. I would like to give you the example of the Goswamis. Kamsa, did you know, pleased Krishna very much. No, I'm serious. He gave him a good fight, and Krishna liked to fight. In fact, he came from his divine abode to have some. It's called Vira Rasa, Ananda Gopal. Vira Rasa means heroic rasa. In the Bhagavatam, you find fighters delight when they have accepted a good lashing from the enemy. We can't believe, you all see the posters of the ultimate fight. You think, how poor these people are. One of them will be trashed up. But he likes it because he's a fighter. It's a certain rasa, which non-fighters don't know. So Krishna is Akila Rasamrita Sindhu. He is the ocean of all rasas, and he likes a good fight, but he cannot have it in the material world, in the spiritual world, because everyone serves him there. So finally, Kamsa was there. He's one of the two, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. He's a god of the kingdom of God, and he, by some arrangement, I won't tell the arrangement now, came to the material world and wanted to fight with Krishna, but really fight. He wanted to go for the ultimate fight, life or death. He and Krishna was so pleased. He smiled. But did Kamsa do bhakti? Why not? He pleased Krishna. He acted in a way which pleased Krishna. Someone has listened to this lecture. The intention was there to hurt Krishna. He acted with his body, with his mind, and with his words. He did everything. Paka. Only one thing was missing. The intention to serve Krishna. I would like to give another example. A pot. How do we say pot in the sweet Croatian language? A monats? Lonats. I thought that a monarch. A monarch, it's a monk. But it's a lonats, not a monarch. Yeah. So it's a lonats, the lonats, see. The pot. From the pot comes very nice rasagulas. Very nice preparations. But does the pot perform bhakti? Has the pot in the kitchen from which the nice sweet balls came for the deities performed an active process of bhakti? No, there is no intention. The pot is a dead thing. It didn't have this one point, the intention at the outside said. So if you want to do bhakti, in case you want to do this, and I think you know everyone wants to do it here, you need to learn what bhakti is. It's for Krishna, Sakrishnum. It is done with the mind, the body, and the words, and then there is the intention. This is for Krishna. It is not for me. Everything is in truth their property, says the Sanat Kumar Samhita. Everything is meant for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. I was last year giving you a birthday present. It was the book Broken Names. It was the first draft. Later came another copy with more chapters. But the name Nikunja Rasa and Viparkit, her husband, have arranged that this is translated into Russian. And it was very nice. They said, Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, the name Broken Names, when we translate it in Russian, doesn't really sound well. Can we give it another title? And we thought about it. And then they came out with a solution which was so beautiful. They gave it a title which, if you translate it back in English, means empty names. Empty. Nothing is empty. How do we say empty? Yes. Empty names. It's very interesting that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur uses the same word in relationship to the most important process of bhakti. He uses it in relationship to chanting the holy name. You can do it, but it can be empty. And this is the example which he gives. He says, the holy name, which must be chanted not lip deep, but heart deep. It must be done with the intention to please Krishna. This spirit must be there. Otherwise, the names which you chant are empty. Nothing there, no substance. He gave an example of a medical capsula. Only when it carries the medicine is it full and effective. If it does not carry the medicine, or if it carries a wrong medicine, like Cyan Kali or something, it is counterproductive. So chanting the holy name or doing any other process of bhakti cannot be done empty in order to be effective. You understand this example? Just like a medical capsula must carry the active ingredient, that means the medicine. So when you do your activity, it can't be an empty, mindless, automatic activity. You must have the desire to please Krishna. That must be your intention. There are two qualities of Krishna which you must know when you want to perform bhakti. One is, Prabhupada talks about this as point 39. Krishna loves his devotee. And the second is quality number 40. He is controlled by the love of his devotees. Krishna is a person, in other words. When you do something for a person, he wants to see that you do this to please him. If he does this just without anything, you are not inclined to there is no rasa. Imagine you come to someone and he throws before your nose a plate with spaghetti. You will say, I'm not a dog. You can do this for your dog. You just throw this. I will eat somewhere else. Krishna is exactly like that. He wants that the devotees offer something with love. He's anyways not interested in the material ingredient. He's interested in the love of his devotee, not in the spaghettis which you put. He gets better food than spaghettis, He's interested in this. Prabhupada says about how Krishna loves his devotee. It is said of Krishna's devotees that if they offer a little water or a tulasi leaf in devotion to Lord Vishnu is so kind that he will sell himself to them. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says even Krishna requests his devotees, please offer me, what was it? Can you help me? Fruit, a leaf, tulsi, and a flower, and water, and offer this with love, bhakti. He says this 2 times. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, when the devotee offers this with love, Krishna is so excited about the love that sometimes he gets so bewildered that he eats also the flower, not just the fruit and the water and the tulsi leaf, but he is appreciating the love that he oops, it's a flower. He eats the flower because he's interested in the love, and that's Krishna. And when he sees in the process of bhakti that a devotee offers this sakrishnum for Krishna, it's the devotee's attitude of love and affection for Krishna that makes him obliged. He feels obliged. I want to say, many years ago we had Serbian summer camps, and we always had small theater plays, and I think Kishori and Madhava developed one theater play. We gave the devotees 3 items: a rope, milk, and a chair. Now, they had to make a theater play out of these 3 things. So they made such a beautiful theater play. There was a man who was very depressed, a non-devotee, in his Belgrade apartment. And he was very depressed. Now, next to him, there was one innocent devotee who had a Gopal deity, and he offered the deity every day a fruit, some water, and sometimes milk. Now, one day, the depression of that Beograd man became so intense that he decided to take his life. He went on a chair, put the rope somewhere on the ceiling and put it around the neck. Now, as he was just about to kick the chair and end his life, he heard a ring on his bell, and he said, "Oh my God, what is happening?" And he went down. He took the rope down. He went down from the chair. He opened the door, and there was this devotee. And the devotee said, "I'm sorry to disturb." The devotee didn't know about what was happening. He had just ring. I have my Gopal deity, and I don't have any fruits or anything at home, and I need to offer him something. He's a child. Do you have a little milk? A little milk? Okay, just go into my refrigerator. There is a little milk. I don't need it any longer. And the devotee said, "Oh, thank you. You saved Gopal today. Yeah, you can take this milk, and you can take everything." The devotee, what? I know I only take milk. No, take everything. So the devotee took the milk. He's funny today, and he went out of the apartment. The man closed the door. And went back to his project. He went back on the Stolica. He got the rope, and and it was then in a theater you never show death, but you all of a sudden the light went out and you heard the chair and you knew that he did it. He followed the path of depression. Now, as you heard the chair falling down, the light goes on and he's there kneeling on the ground, and Krishna is before him and said, "Thank you for the milk. You gave me the milk and you promised to give more. I will give you birth now as a devotee life where you can give more service for me." And the theater play ended. Beautiful theater play, no? This is how Krishna is. When someone does something, even if in bad consciousness, I mean, he was not in high emotional energy, this Belgrade man in the play, then Krishna does accept it, because, as Prabhupada said, he becomes obliged. We heard I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, about Sudama Vipra, who brought just a little broken rice, and Krishna became so obliged by that gift, which was given really with a conscious way to please Krishna. He brought this as a present for Krishna and carried this all the way, that Krishna felt, I have nothing in my possession which I can give to this devotee. But he gave him a big palace. But Krishna thought it's insignificant. So let us summarize and then do a practice. No, just to get ready. Bhakti can be seen as a way. If the way, in the beginning, I wrote this down, it's a little complicated. When Bhakti is referring to devotees who are in practice, it means that they apply, listen, the proper process. In other words, they do the right thing. When Bhakti is applied to devotees who have reached perfection, it means that they do the proper process properly. They do it right all the time. And what makes Bhakti right are the Svarup Lakshana and Tatastha Lakshana, which we will hear tomorrow about, But for us here who are just approaching the subject matter, I want to say, if you can do the three things for whatever short time you can do it, you're practicing Uttama Bhakti. How to make it more perfect, we will learn a little later tomorrow. But for now, it is... you need to know, I'm doing something. It's for Krishna, and I'm using my body, my mind, and my words for him with the intention to give him pleasure. This is the way. When you have reached the goal, you will have few more other things there. About these few other things, these two other things which will be with you, we will hear that tomorrow. I am a lover of the Bhagavatam, and I want to tell you my most favorite text from the Bhagavatam up till now. Are you interested? Yes. Why? Listen to this. It's so encouraging, because if you hear about Bhakti as the way, it will tell us about the way. You are encouraged. If you hear about it as the goal, you are discouraged, because you are not yet there. Because you will also be able to do it. The verse is from the 12th chapter of the 10th canto. It talks about Aghasura, who was forcibly Krishna was coming into his body, and he was liberated from material existence. It says, if even only once one brings Krishna into his mind, if even only once, or even by force, one brings the form of the personality of Godhead into one's mind, one can attain the supreme salvation by the mercy of Krishna, as did Aghasura. You know, if only for a short time you can get it just right. I'm doing something for the I'm doing something for the pleasure of Krishna, then it's good. What then is to be said of those whose hearts the Supreme Personality of Godhead enters when he appears as an incarnation, like for instance we heard about Varahadev this morning, or those who always think of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the source of transcendental bliss for all living entities, and by whom all illusion is completely removed. It's the Kamutika Naya. In order to understand it, you need to understand what is the Kamutika Naya. That's a certain form of logical statement. If already this is true, how much more is it true when it is applied to this case? In other words, if it is already true that Aghasura, who was so low class and who actually didn't intend to please Krishna, when Krishna came in his mind, he already was liberated. How much more is to be expected by someone who as a devotee brings Krishna into his mind by thinking of him? That's the logic. No? You have to understand this with this type of logic. Already this demon got this. How much more will happen if a devotee now brings Krishna into his mind? And at the end I will tell you a story which I heard while I was in Kartik. There were once a few drunkards, 4 drunkards, who were drinking heavy alcohol, and they became very, very excited. It was near to a temple, and they got some light out of the temple, and they put the light up on a pillar, and then they began to dance around the light, with flapping some cloth and saying, I'm a peacock, and the other said, I'm a cuckoo, and the other said, I'm a sparrow, and they just fooled around. But they did this at the month of Kartik, when it said you should light a light and just offer it to the Lord. They put the light where the temple was, So if they, who were just so out of their mind, and so in the then after some time each one died, natural death, and but they were all, I forgot, either they were born as brahmanas, or they were liberated, or some high result came to them because of this practice. So if already a slight contact has such good effects in the next life, how much more will the practice bring to you when you do it consciously, when you come in the month of Kartik and you offer your light to Lord Damodar every night? How much more you get benefit. This is the logic. Consciously. So I want to wake you up and chant with you in Uttama Bhakti, first class Bhakti. First of all, sit down. You're sitting already. It just, sit comfortable. You can play. I would like you now to apply what you have heard. We talk a little later, 5 minutes, then we talk like anything. But now we are silent. Practice. I would just like you to reflect about the fact that you are sitting with so many nice devotees in the Zagreb temple. You came to a festival and your desire and your hope is to somehow get some more inspiration in your Krishna consciousness. I would like you now to enter a practice where you add the missing element, where you put the medicine in the capsula, where you end the empty names and have chant full names. I would like you to set your intention. Krishna, I'm your part and parcel. We have a connection. I'm not always conscious about this connection, but deep in my heart, I just know that I will only be satisfied in a relationship with you. I will now chant with these devotees in order to please you, to give you pleasure, to satisfy your ears. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As you chant, you should just consciously think about this very simple practice. You should set the intention that I'm chanting with my mouth, and I'm chanting also with my heart to please you, Krishna. Please chant now. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, chant again, please, one more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Everybody please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare So this was a very simple class. My purpose in this class was to describe to you the proper process, but tomorrow we will learn how to do the proper process properly. We need to still add one thing, but we will go step by step. And I believe the great discovery in this class was to do something with the intention to please Krishna. In Rupa Goswami's definition of what is bhakti, this is described as anukulyena. Anu means to follow, kul. Kul is something which is not cool. Anukul. It's so cool, Maharaj. No, it's really with the desire to do something favorable for Krishna, to please him. Remember, Kamsa did all the things, fighting, but he didn't have that intention. And I believe young devotees are often so blissful because somehow they have understood in their lives there is a God and I'm now His and I'm serving Him. It's all about that. But somehow on the road to heaven, or while they practice, they become mechanic practices, and they other things are important for them. You know, how to situate themselves, and you know, how to reach missionary goals, to get some recognition by the others. I know in Russia there's so many who just want to have a name and then run, you know, a spiritual name. We get other goals as we are moving through life, and so on. But if you do the proper process, there will be an immediate result. But there's something more we need to learn, and that is coming tomorrow, where we learn to do the process properly. But at least when we have to be on the right road, then we can learn to drive very nicely. But first, let us get on the right road. That is my point in this first lecture. If we go on the wrong road or wrong train track, and we don't come to, in my example, to Frankfurt and Hamburg, but we come to, I mean, Belgrade is very nice also, but in the example, we come to niche somewhere, you know, then something is not correct. We are on the right, not on the right track. You will see tomorrow will be a little tough. We will have to really. Tomorrow, your intelligence will be a little challenged, but I do know that you can do it. It's not too difficult, and we will make it very simple in the end. But you need to sleep well. You need to be well rested, full of oxygen, and full of readiness to learn. It's a little different than a lecture where you hear more or less the same things in a different constellation. It's actually devotional training we will do. Little training, teaching, school class, Bhakti school class, ashram teaching. And so tomorrow I need awake students. You will do it. You went excellent today. I was just sometimes had to, you know, we are in the Balkans. That's natural. We have to be a little personal. All right. I also would love you to give you a little homework. You can do what you have heard throughout the festival and see if maybe the festival turns out different for you than other festivals. You can just see, let me be in the festival and let me see if I can please, I will have the intent to please Krishna and his devotees. You know, when we think of Krishna, we think of his devotees also. Try to have this conscious idea. I'm here to please Krishna and his devotees. Try to apply it. If you don't apply it, it won't, you know, it won't be so clear. But if you apply it, it will become crystal clear to you. I could see when you were now chanting and you had this, I have to somehow sing for Krishna. What an interesting concept. You know, and you were, there was some, I mean, I made a mistake in singing, but there was, you were doing very well, very well. Let me watch the wristwatch now. No, we have time for one question. It's not so late. I thought we are already at 10 o'clock. One or two questions. Who has a question? Govinda Nandan has a question. And Gaur Govinda has a question. Two questions we can take. Jagannath Mishra, tomorrow is another day, but we want to not end very quickly. Retsi.
Yes. As we see in the Bhagavad Gita, it is twice, we hear twice the verse Man Manabhava Madbhakta, which shows the supreme dharma, let us say, and there are other two verses also that speak about how one should perform his duty. They're also twice in the Bhagavad Gita. So in the modern times, duty is not so well accepted. Like nobody wants to do the duty. Everyone wants to be like independent on something. And it seems that now we have a situation where people want to do what they want, and for them duty is wonderful, and for those who want love Krishna, duty seems like it's not so important. So my question is how to understand this relation between duty and love.
Is there a relationship to the class which I don't see as of yet?
Because probably most of us and myself, sometimes I chant out of duty, not out of service to Krishna, like this.
Thank you. Yes.
And it feels like it's not